The Fanfiction Power Hour is a comedy podcast between friends that does not attempt straightforward readings. The links to the fanfictions are in the description if you would prefer an unaltered experience and to support the authors by giving the stories a like. Good morning, everybody. Christmas morning, that is. It's Christmas Eve. Fuck. Udge. Saved it. Welcome back to Ross and Wizzy's Fanfiction Power Hour. I'm your host, the jingliest snow miser out there, Ross Pitt. And with me, as always, is my brother, the saltiest heat miser there could ever be, Wizzy Puff.
I'm Mr. Weed Miser. Hey, everybody.
Hi, Wizzy. How are you?
I am doing wonderful, especially on this most joyous of occasions.
Yep. The third week of Marvel Rivals being out. Let's go.
Woo! You know, I heard they have Squirrel Girl in that.
They do. I played it, religiously since last week. Or our last week. So that's been my week, Wizzy. I've been playing Marvel Rivals nonstop and adoring it.
Dang. That does seem like it's right up your alley.
It is. Frankly, it's more fun than Overwatch, in my opinion. And I'm sure
people have been flying away from Overwatch.
Because Overwatch kind of blows in comparison.
It really has fallen off a bit. Especially after it updated to Overwatch 2 and my low-end PC can't run it.
Yeah, that sucks. I wish we could play Marvel Rivals together because I don't care to play Overwatch 2 again.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe Marvel Rivals is just a fad that'll die out in 2 seconds, but I'm hoping that it isn't and that it continues because I've been rather enjoying Marvel Rivals.
Is it more for high-performing PCs than Overwatch, or?
I mean, I don't know. I will say mine isn't that great at running it, or at least it wasn't until I figured out how to change the settings, but it was kind of pretty bad at running it at first. And I've got a new fashion gaming laptop, but it's still a laptop, so
Yeah. Well, I doubt it. My computer could run it until I upgrade.
Yeah, probably not, but it doesn't hurt to try, or I guess it could if it blows up your computer. You could check the stats. The good thing about it is that it is free, so there's that.
Yep.
Anyways, I do main Hawkeye, or at least I would love to, but people keep stealing the DPS characters, and I want to have a good game, so I play the fucking strategy or support characters.
Man.
They're called strategists, but they're support. Tanks are vanguards, and the DPS are duelists, I believe.
What is Jeff?
Jeff is a strategist, so a support.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Dang.
Jeff, love him.
I've been told he's like a Splatoon character.
I can see it, yeah. He definitely plays like the one. I will say my go-to strategist is Cloak and Dagger. I had heard of Cloak and Dagger before, but I never really got into their comics or their show. They're fairly unknowns. I suck as tank, or the Vanguard class, though, is the thing. So that sucks. But nobody else wants to play tank, so I have to get shoved into that role because my computer doesn't load fast enough for me to get into the game before everybody else picks their goddamn characters.
God, I know how that feels. Specifically just being forced into the tank role.
Yep. I guess Hulk and Thor are the most fun tanks for me currently. I've only played one game with Hulk, but Hulk apparently is supposed to suck, according to everybody. I played one game with him, fucking nailed the entire match. Completely wiped out the other team.
Nobody's used to Hulk.
Maybe I'm amazing at Hulk for some reason. Maybe I'm the one person who's amazing at Hulk. So that's that. I'm sorry, everybody. I didn't mean to get off on this Marvel Rivals tangent. That's just been my obsession, you know?
Play Marvel Rivals today.
Please.
All right, now give us our money, Marvel.
That would be so cool if we got sponsored ever. So today, yes, it is Christmas season or holiday season, what the fuck ever. So we're going to be reading some Christmas fan fictions. They are rather short, so we won't be getting into, a long episode or anything like that. The first one we're going to be reading is called No, Things Aren't Going Back to Normal, But That's Okay by Flutterpriest. Chapter, I Promise. Author's note. Okay, I think this is a fan fiction reading. Yep, that's a fan fiction reading, all right.
Oh, it's ours.
Wow, before it was even uploaded. If we could just steal this and post it as ours because it is ours.
Yeah.
Reading number 17, Flutterpriest's No, Things Aren't Going Back to Normal. MLP reading rated T by Rainbow Infinity Readings. Interesting. All right. Sunset Shimmer stared at the roof of her room. The covers were off, but a weight pressed her deep into the mattress. A beast whose teeth were barred. Part of being able to survive against a monster was knowing what it was. This monster that ate at her was 365 days of fear, disease, and financial hardship. She wasn't afraid to speak its name or speak of it in metaphor like others were. Coronavirus. Oh dearie me. My oh my. This was published in December of 2020.
Yo, it's our first pandemic fic.
It is. Oh god. Technically, Panatrophia was.
Oh, that's true, actually. Okay, but this one's our first Corona fic.
And then I guess there was also the zombie one. Does that count? They weren't technically zombies, but they were technically zombies.
Were they infecting each other?
No, they were infected by we don't know how the ponies got infected in Panatrophia, so it's unclear if it was random or what.
Yeah, it seemed like that was a holy event.
Yeah. Food for thought. She sat up in bed and grabbed her laptop. She opened it and logged in to check her bank statement again. She opened as if hoping for some sort of miracle. With a grimace, she closed the tab and laid back down. Months of scrimping, saving, and trying to just get by. Months of mental anguish, and for what? She opened a new tab to My Book to check on her friends, just to feel like she was still somehow connected with them. She scrolled down her feed, seeing Applejack show her new toned muscles. Twilight showing off the new language she learned. Rainbow Dash had new guitar solos she was nailing. The post read,
"At least I did something constructive in this terrible year."
Sunset felt the teeth on her throat. She couldn't distract herself with fluff to avoid the questions anymore. What had she done this year? She closed the laptop again, laying back down. The clock ticked by on her wall. There were no get-togethers. There was no celebration. It was a year of silence, of counting what blessings you still had. What did she still have? Would normal ever come back? And even if it did, was this how she reacted to hardship, by shutting down? A police siren rang out against the silent city air and bashed against her windows. A few silent pops that echoed through the night. Her phone buzzed. A warmth spread through her chest. Maybe that was one of her friends. Any of them, maybe even Wallflower. Anyone. She pulled it and scrolled. She pulled it and scrolled to her text messages. Another spam text that wanted money to deal with those political extremists. A bucket of ice water chilled her soul as she reported and blocked the number.
What am I even doing?
She whispered. She opened my book out of habit. At the top of her feed was a multicolored meme with a kitten licking her paws. You will be okay. You don't have a choice.
As if.
She whispered to herself.
Anyone could end it if they wanted to.
She paused. Did she really just say that? Again. God, it's pretty repetitive.
This one should have been trigger warning suicide.
And self-harm.
Indeed. And maybe even pandemic.
I don't think there's a trigger warning for that one. Well, not a tag at least.
Oh, is there actually the suicide and self-harm one?
Yeah.
I couldn't remember. If
that was in White Painted Walls.
Yeah, that's right. My bad.
Did she really just say that? Again. Bitter bile rose in her throat. She set her laptop aside and rubbed her face in her hands. And don't worry, guys. We're going to have a happier story to read after this, I assume.
Did you mention to go into the description yet? I
didn't. It's so late. We're going to have to do the thing at the beginning that I made. But I'll do it here.
Okay.
And speaking of rubbing your face in something, you all should go down into the description and rub your faces into these fan fictions. Just get them all rubbed in there and read them while you're at it. And if not, if you don't want to do that, that's fine. Just rub your little nose against that like button and then click it. There you go. Bitter bile rose in her throat. She set her laptop aside and rubbed her face in her hands.
What the fuck is wrong with me?
She mumbled. She pulled the computer closer and sighed. This was too many times. She opened a new tab. This really should have been tagged suicide self-harm.
Yeah.
I didn't expect it to go even more deeper into it. I guess it probably should have, but...
Sometimes I think about hurting myself.
She paused after typing the query into her search engine. Did she really have a problem? Depression was pretty much normal this year. Heck, scientists were guessing that the long-term effects of this would last for decades. How are we feeling about that? I don't know. I'm feeling pretty good about things in terms of that. My life has basically gone back to normal.
Yeah. Everything is completely the same as it was before COVID.
I'm not saying that it is. I'm saying that my life is.
Oh, that's actually fair.
I mean, I have a different job, and one that might not have actually existed if not for COVID, but still.
That's actually true. That's something that, gotta look at the silver lining of that is that thousands of jobs, tens of thousands of jobs were turned into work from home jobs.
Yeah, which is great. Like,
yeah.
Wow, my parents were still going to work. Now they work from home. Wow.
Woohoo.
Things are not the same. But I feel pretty much the same. She deleted her words. She was being crazy. Sure, she had the occasional bad thought, but she would never do anything about it. Then typed a new message.
Will things ever go back to normal?
And hit enter. 22 million results returned back. And at the very top was a simple article. No, things are not going back to normal. But that's okay.
That's not a link, but it's underlined.
Dear God, they're too clever for us.
Well, that's a little on the nose,
she mumbled. She clicked it, and her screen was bathed in white with black texts. If you clicked this, you're feeling just like I did a month ago. You aren't alone. Sunset folded her legs on her bed and leaned forward to read. This year has been hard for every single person in our world. and it's undeniable that its effects are going to be felt for years to come, even with a light at the end of the tunnel, and normalcy once again seeming in our grasps. There will inevitably be people who look back on this year with pride. Perhaps they felt like they accomplished a new skill. Perhaps they defeated an inner demon. Embrace your demons.
Oh no.
But that isn't who this is written for. Sunset felt borderline uncomfortable with the text she was reading. The writer seemed to be speaking to her almost directly. Was this what a mental break felt like? How many other people read this and felt the same sort of emotional connection to its words? You did not need to put that apostrophe there?
Ooh, schooled?
Maybe the writer was just pretentious. That's right. Sunset Shimmer, I'm talking to you. I'm writing this for the person who is reading this because they're struggling and need help. If I could send money or food to each person who needed it, I would. But I confess that I am not doing too hot myself. Writing doesn't exactly pay well. Sunset hovered her mouse on the close button. Was this some sort of pleading for money? But this isn't about me. This is about you. And if you're reading this, I want to tell you that you accomplished the greatest thing of all in this year. Survive. Sunset froze and moved her hand from the trackpad to the down arrow to keep reading. Everyone is tired. You aren't the only one who is exhausted, and having the occasional dark thought is normal. If they persist, I suggest talking to a professional. There are cheap options online for those who need it. But as we approach the holidays, and more people are stuck inside their homes for much longer than they ever would have known, I just want you to know that you matter to someone. Someone out there loves you. And there's people out there who will love you that you haven't even met yet. Sunset felt her body shake a little. So, for the sake of yourself and all of the people who are struggling right now, you are important. And I'm so excited for the amazing, beautiful future that's ahead for you. And I hope that reminding you that great things are still to come is enough of a Christmas present for you, dear reader. Sunset closed her laptop and laid back down once more.
Things will get better,
Sunset said to herself. She thought of what would happen in a few months, when the girls would be able to get together again, and she couldn't help but smile. Surely Pinky was thinking of the best darn joke possible for when everyone got in the room again.
Pinky too soon.
Maybe that's what she could do. She could come up with the best possible plan once it's safe for everyone to get together again. And with a gentle smile, she closed her eyes. The exhaustion took her much quicker than she could have possibly guessed. But for the first night in months, good dreams were awaiting her. The end. And that was No, Things Aren't Going Back to Normal, But That's Okay by Flutter Priest. Well, I guess things did end up okay. She's having good dreams again, at least. So that's nice.
Yeah, but I was kind of hoping that she would, cure the virus or something. That was the happy ending I was hoping for.
Yeah, it's a bit weird that, I guess, sure, if you don't want to have a good story, I guess you could just end it there. Could have been a bit more interesting. Maybe instead of just a mysterious plague, it was, a zombie apocalypse. Maybe if it was that.
Oh.
Wouldn't that be cool?
No, we couldn't. Not on literally Christmas Eve of 2020.
Okay, fine. Let's not pretend like things never happened.
I can't even remember what was significant about that year. I just remember everyone talking about it. As if, like, there was even just the pandemic that happened that year.
All right.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but Sunset should have talked about the BLM protests. She's not an ally.
Are we surprised? She's orange. Like, I don't know. She's not really orange. She's
Just-
yellow.
That's the reason that she wouldn't.
Yeah, don't be ridiculous. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to say about this. It was okay. And that's all right.
I think it's probably a one that was really good for people when it came out, you know?
Yeah, probably. Do I need it? Yeah, I don't know if I could say that anymore. But maybe some people will get a good kick out of this one still. I couldn't tell you. But yeah, it was pretty good. I noticed some odd things with like sentence structure and whatnot. I don't know how long this took to write. It was fine. Ultimately. Yeah. Good job there. Wizzy, anything you have to say?
I was kind of hoping for a little bit more holiday. You know, we're kind of trying to do the whole Christmas Eve thing. It did come out on Christmas Eve. I know this one's for everyone, and you know, you don't want to make it about Christmas.
Actually,
but,
it's for teens and up.
That's true. This one's for everyone 13 and up.
Yep.
You know, regardless of religion, celebration. But you could have made it a little bit more holiday.
Yeah, maybe a little bit. Well, perhaps this next story will give us a bit more holiday. For this next story, we are reading A Storm King's Hearth Swarming by Interesting Writer. I apologize. Interesting Ritter.
You know, that name is actually pretty interesting.
I would say.
Is it a typo? Or did they intend to name themselves Ritter?
I don't know. We actually don't have any way of telling. This story does not have like any likes, any dislikes, barely a comment, but they have written another story that has 10 upvotes and no downvotes. So I think we're in good hands. This is A Storm King's Hearth Swarming by Interesting Ritter. Chapter Happy Hearth Swarming. It's got an exclamation point at the end. Oh yeah, Wizzy, you don't know a thing about Mr. Flashy or Death Pony Mommy Girl, do you?
I know they're movie people. I know her real name is Fizzlepot Berry Twist, and I know that she broke her horn while trying to open a jar of pickles.
That is not true, actually.
You
It was a
lied
jar
to
of
me.
mayonnaise.
Oh, my bad.
It was an Ursa Major, or Minor. I can't remember which.
Oh, geez, that's
A
actually
giant bear.
She's pretty badass. I know that.
Yeah, she is. This story is also set in the Equestria at War universe, which I know nothing about. But according to the description, I don't need to know shit about it. So everyone can enjoy.
Perfect.
All right. Chapter Happy Hearth Swarming. The Storm King approached a microphone on the front deck of his flagship, his second in command, Tempest Shadow, standing resolutely behind him. Thousands of airships filled the skies, forming a colossal floating armada. The entire fleet had been summoned to hear an important announcement from His Excellency himself. The Air Corps. I thought it was going to say the air horn, and then I said the air corn on accident for no reason because it doesn't actually say air horn. The air buzzed with tension.
Hello.
The ship's speakers screeched with a loud, jarring feedback that sent every soldier in the vicinity clutching their ears. That's actually just Wizzy's voice.
I'm going to make it sound 10 times worse.
All right, good luck with that. Grimaces and groans rippled through the crowd like a wave.
Who made this thing?
The Storm King turned to Tempest, his tone dripping with rhetorical disdain. She shrugged with the indifference of someone used to his antics. Clearing his throat, the Storm King adjusted the microphone.
Welcome, everyone. First off, let me congratulate you on the successful conquest of Cold Age. We left no riches unplundered, no towns unpillaged, and believe me when I say this, there's plenty more of that to come. Oh boy, so much more to come. But today is different.
Soldiers near the flagship began to whisper amongst themselves. Different? What could he mean? They'd grown used to announcements about campaigns and loot distribution. What could possibly warrant this level of theatrics? Those closest to the flagship noticed something peculiar. The Storm King was not wearing his usual iron crown. Instead, a bright red cone-shaped hat with the fluffy white pom-pom perched awkwardly on his head. The sight was so absurd it bordered on surreal.
This almost sounds like it's going to be like a Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yeah,
You see,
the Storm King continued, oblivious to their stares.
I have recently learned about an equestrian holiday called Hearth's Warming from Commander Tempest. And let me tell you, it's fantastic.
Confused glances darted through the crowd.
For those of you who don't know, Hearth's Warming is a special day of the year when creatures give gifts to one another. Gifts!
His eyes sparkled with excitement, his voice rising dramatically.
Now, as you all know, I don't consider our army to be some run-of-the-mill loot-stealing, village-pillaging outfit. Oh no, we're like a family. And as the head of this family, I'm the dad. The dad you always listen to.
He's the daddy.
I'm Daddy's Storm King.
Yay.
The dad you always listen to. Never disobey, or else you'll pay.
His tone turned ominous for a moment, and the soldiers froze, uneasy. Catching himself, he waved a hand dismissively.
But never mind that. The point is, I'm giving you gifts. From me.
He spread his arms wide and executed a dramatic bow. The soldiers exchanged skeptical looks, unsure of how to respond. Was he serious? Was this some elaborate setup for a new scheme? Tempest Shadow stood stoically, her expression unreadable.
Not just one gift, but two.
The Storm King's voice boomed, amplified by the crackling speakers.
Let no one call me ungenerous.
Was this really happening? Had the infamous Storm King's icy heart thawed? Whispers spread like wildfire through the crowd, speculation running rampant.
Now for my first gift.
A drum roll sounded from Grubber. Grubber is like his little henchman.
Is he a little bug?
No. He's a hedgehog, I think. Something like that. People hate him.
Aww. I'm going to make a Grubber Finds Love fic.
I'm sure it exists. And I'm sure it's with the Storm King.
No, not with the Storm King. That would be like putting LeFou with Gaston.
I guess. A drum roll sounded from Grubber, who had somehow procured a small drum kit. The pudgy henchman grinned as he built the anticipation.
One slice of pizza in today's rations.
Fuck yeah.
Who doesn't love pizza? Come on.
I love pizza.
I'm actually going to be having that on my birthday next week.
Oh, hell yeah. Happy birthday.
Yeah. Thank you. I'm sorry, I mean the day after tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, because that will be the day after tomorrow. Happy birthday. The Storm King threw his arms into the air, a self-satisfied grin plastered across his face. The soldiers were silent, their expressions blank.
I said,
He repeated, his voice sharpening.
1 slice of pizza.
Fearing the consequences of disappointing their ruler, the crowd erupted into forced cheers. Their clapping and whooping echoed through the sky, growing louder as they tried to outdo one another in enthusiasm.
I know, right?
The Storm King smirked, clearly pleased.
I tried this stuff in Abyssinia. Let me tell you.
He kissed his fingertips in an exaggerated chef's gesture.
Benissimo.
Tempest Shadow remained impassive, her expression as stony as ever. The crowd's awkward cheering began to die down, but the Storm King wasn't finished.
And now, for my second gift.
He announced, leaning forward with a conspiratorial grin.
Your very own Storm King branded socks.
Fuck yeah! I can tell.
Ooh, I didn't want these things.
I think I get what kind of hearth swarming Tempest Shadow got as a filly.
Oh, no. You know, I think he looks a lot more like Krampus than he does Santa.
Hey, yeah, you're right. Yeah, Tempest is probably very sarcastic when talking to him about Christmas or hearthwarming.
Does he not get sarcasm?
He might. Just not this kind. With a flourish, he pulled out a pair of socks emblazoned with his image and held them high for everyone to see. The soldiers hesitated, then resumed their reluctant applause. Their cheers were just enthusiastic enough to avoid suspicion of dissent.
Thank you, thank you.
The Storm King basked in their reaction, his chest puffed out with pride.
But wait, there's more. One last gift for a very special pony.
All eyes turned to Tempest, who raised an eyebrow. Her calm demeanor faltered slightly as the Storm King turned toward her.
Grubber, get over here. Commander Tempest has ruthlessly led my armies to victory time and time again. She's expanded my power and crushed our enemies beneath her hooves. Truly commendable. And so, I thought it fitting to reward her hard work.
Tempest stiffened. There's no need, Your Excellency, she began, but the king silenced her with a finger to her muzzle.
I've been saving this for after we conquered Equestria. But in the spirit of the festivities, why wait?
He's gonna kill her. That's what's gonna happen. Tempest's eyes widened.
Snaps her neck.
Tempest's eyes widened. Could it be? Was he about to bestow her the thing that she truly wanted? Oh, her horn.
A 20-bit gift card to McYetis.
Is that actually like, does she really want her horn back?
Yeah, I think that's like her motivation.
Oh my god.
In her defense, she didn't have any friends because she was a freak with no horn.
Aww.
So she didn't really understand how the power of friendship and how that whole thing goes.
Couldn't she have like made friends with earth ponies or something?
Well, no, because she's a freak with a horn.
But she didn't have a horn.
Well, she does. I mean, you can see it. It's all jagged and stuff.
Still, she couldn't like make friends with the unicorns then.
Well, no, because she was a freak with no horn. This goes in the circle.
Okay, the Pegasi.
They just hate everybody.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Rainbow Dash.
Yep.
And Fluttershy.
He declared, holding up the card with a triumphant flourish. Tempest's expression flattened into one of utter disbelief and disappointment. She accepted the card with a stiff nod. "Thank you, Your Excellency," she said, her voice returning to its usual emotionless tone.
Now, I know what you're all thinking. Storm King, you're so generous. How can we ever repay you? Well, don't worry. I've already deducted 50% of your paychecks as your personal gifts to myself. You're welcome.
Oh my god.
Dick
This
fuck.
guy's like, I kind of get it.
You kind of agree with him?
He deserves it. He did give them some pizza and then like socks themed after the Storm King.
Yeah. What a generous, kind man. His maniacal laughter echoed across the fleet. The soldiers stood in stunned silence, the news of their pay cuts a bitter sting. But before they could fully process it, the Storm King clapped his hands.
One more thing. I've curated a list of approved hearth-warming songs. I expect everyone to show their holiday spirit by singing these. Or else.
Handouts circulated through the crowd, listing songs like "The Storm King is Coming to Town," "Violent Night," "All I Want for Hearthwarming is Loot."
Come on, let's start. You better watch out. You better not cry. You better not pout. I'm telling you why. The Storm King is coming to town.
Reluctantly, the troops joined in, their voices mingling into a half-hearted chorus. The Storm King nodded approvingly, letting them take over while he folded his arms and grinned.
Happy hearthwarming,
he shouted, his voice carrying over the reluctant singing. Some zebras in the ground could hear singing coming from the sky as their cities continued to burn. Author's note. I recently watched the MLP movie and thought of this funny scenario to celebrate the holiday. Feedback is always welcome. Smiley face. Oh, remember the last time there was a smiley face in the description or in the author's note?
Not sure.
Mortissimo.
Oh, no.
Yep.
Oh god, that's right, because of the freaking I'm not gonna spoil it. You guys have to go listen to that episode for yourself.
Great episode, guys. Mortissimo and the death road to joy. That's it. The end. And that was A Storm King's Hearthwarming by Interesting Ritter. Well, Wizzy, what did you think of it?
I thought this one was like, wow. I'm going to be the first one to thumbs it up before you get over to it. First of all.
Oh, 11 upvotes.
What the?
I just upvoted it and there are 11 upvotes.
Is this like brand new or something?
Yep.
That makes a lot of sense. Okay, so apparently this person is probably an established writer. I'm sad I wasn't the first one to upvote it, honestly. This one was really funny. I liked it.
Yeah.
I feel like this is a really good way to be introduced to these characters in a fic.
Yeah. Oh. Oof. Talk about a contrast with the last story. This one was comedy gold up until the ending. With the poor zebras. And his troops, poor his troops, and all that. But yikes! Everything is not going to be okay for the zebras.
Oh, Storm King, you kook.
Oh, you. There's a fic called like Tempest Shadow has a conversation with Darth Vader. We should read that at some point.
Is that one a holiday one?
No, that's why I said at some point.
Okay, I saw one earlier called Darth Swarming, so I wasn't sure.
Oh yeah, I also saw that one. Yeah, no, not that one. So, yeah, I was hoping for a bit more of the song titles.
True.
It reminds me of what's it called? Plankton's Greatest Hits or whatever it's called from Nickelodeon. I'll rule the world and everyone. You will bow down to me. And then there was another one that I can't remember. But then there was his version of the Nutcracker Suite, which was dee 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 dee.
That would have been, you know, the Storm King's version of that would have been the best.
I agree. Oh well. Any other thoughts about this one? Or can we just think of various names for Storm King heart swarming Christmas songs?
Strangle Bells?
Ooh, that's good. Shit. I'm trying to think of what we could do for Little Drummer Boy. Little Gunner Boy. Kill me. All right. Well, that's all I got.
Strangle Bell Rock?
Wizzy, where do you come up with this sort of stuff? He should just have his own podcast. I'm telling you guys, he is too good to be let down by me, you know?
Come over to my podcast where I come up with song parodies and then different versions of those same song parodies.
Great idea. He's a perfect man, that Wizzy. It's almost his birthday, you know, guys. Wish him a happy birthday. Fucking cowards. Do it. Do it. Do it.
Especially
Do it.
when I release my special episode of the podcast on my birthday because it's Thursday.
Hey, man, if you want to do it,
I'm thinking about it.
have fun with that. It can be a fan fiction campfire, buddy. Yep. I don't have anything else to say about this fic. Do you?
I do not. Wait, except for what is Equestria at War?
Yeah, I have no idea what Equestria at War is.
Okay, it's a whole tag.
Yeah, it's like it might be a mod for a game, or that could be a different thing. I can't remember.
It's one of those extra canon universes.
Yeah, something like Fallout Equestria sort of thing. Not like actually Fallout Equestria. Some shit. I don't know. But it did not factor much into this, so whatever. Welp. Thank you all so much for listening. I have been Ross Pitt. This over here has been Wizzy Buff. And you know what, Wizzy? Shit's looking a little stale in here. Think we need to gussy this podcast up a bit. Maybe make a few changes.
Are you thinking what I'm thinking?
Yep. A third person. Let's have a baby.
Just randomly play a baby coughing sound effect throughout the podcast.
Great idea. Still want a baby. All right. Good night, everybody.
See ya.
Flutter Priest. Flutter Priest. Flutter Priest. Flutter Priest. Does that name sound familiar? I don't know why that name sounds
Aw.
familiar. Yeah, hold on one
I
second.
was baptized by them.
That's it. Wizzy was baptized, everybody. Isn't that neat?
It didn't work. The water boiled and turned to steam before I could touch it.
I keep telling you. It was actually a sauna that you went to.
I was a baby. I can't remember this stuff.
As someone who was raised Mormon, it blew my mind that people got baptized as babies. As Mormons get baptized at age 8.
Oh, dang.
Yeah. So that was wild.
They just get like, did they dip themselves or?
No. You get dipped by someone who is
Okay.
ordained to. I could actually do it, I guess. Huh. I could baptize someone.
Could you baptize me?
Do you want to be baptized?
I wouldn't mind being baptized.
Okay. I mean, if that's what you want, bud.
Okay, you have to baptize me only if I know the full context of this arrangement.
Yeah, of course.
On our other podcast where you teach me about religion,
Oh,
we can
God.
talk more about this.
That would probably be a better concept for a podcast, wouldn't it? Also, no, we haven't seen anything by Flutter Priest.